Isililo is a play about families affected by the Life Esidimeni tragedy, which saw the deaths of over 140 mentally ill patients, and it will be hitting theatres again next week. Award-winning actor, producer and director Siyambonga Mdubeki spent hours with the grief-stricken families to understand their experiences. Through the play, he tells a powerful story of broken dreams and of heartbreak. An audience can see the play for free, in fact, from next week, Thursday. Siyambonga joins us now in studio for more on the story. Welcome. It's great to see you in studio with us. Finally, we've been trying to get this going for some time now.
Thank you so much for having me.
So it was about a year ago, just over a year ago, that you and I first talked about the play. Take us back to what happened then in the first showing of your Life Esidimeni play.
Yeah, it was just weeks, I think maybe 2 weeks before lockdown. Yeah. We had the show at the Market Theatre. And some of the families from the Life Esidimeni came and they were moved and they liked the project. They felt it was their voice. They felt it represented them in a way that they can never be represented. They felt it might bring justice for, since you know it's been over 5 years since that incident happened. Until today, nothing has been done about that incident. So since then, it's just been nothing. The headlines, it's no longer a headline story now. It was a headline then, but we moved on. We're talking about other stories now. Yeah. But the families did come when we did it at the Market Theatre, and they really loved it, and they were happy. They felt like we're representing them.
How did you come to the decision to embark on this production?
It was me coming across a headline that said at least 144 mentally ill people died during Life Esidimeni. Now I understand that's how journalists structure their writing and all that. But for me, there was just something odd about saying at least, and then you say such a big number, 144. I just couldn't bring myself to understanding that, losing 144 lives, and we still say at least. From that headline, I knew I had to do something. And because I'm a theatre maker, so I had to do what I know best. So I had to just create a story out of it and play my part.
Yeah. I mean, that's a powerful statement that you're putting to us this morning. And you would have had to work quite closely with the families themselves. How was navigating that kind of pain for you?
Yeah, that was a bit very emotional. Too much for me as well, because I had to sit down for hours with the families, and they had to take me through what they went through that time. And for them, reliving those moments sometimes, because when you're having a conversation, you can be having a conversation, but once somebody goes into that moment, remembering the incidents that took place, they would break down. So I had to face that. But I'm grateful that the families were willing to help me throughout the project. And we spent those hours talking, them telling me what happened, how it started, and how they tried to avoid it, but no one really paid attention. They were never really taken care of. And the government just took those decisions without considering their feelings, without considering how they felt about that movement, from Life Esidimeni to all the NGOs that the people were moved to.
So the first showing of your production was just over a year ago now?
Yes, it's been a year.
Why now? Why show it again now?
Well, I think it would be on our third or fourth showing now, but because of COVID, things slowed down a bit. And right now, the Forge came forward and they were like, we are willing to back you financially. You can still bring it back. Because my aim was always not to let it end in the theatre, but create the conversation, let the conversation happen even outside the theatre. And I think that's what has been happening, which is why we're doing it again now. And people still want to see it. So my aim has always been to keep the conversation going. And especially after having heard what the families say about the play itself. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to put it aside and move on with my life and do certain things. So I was like, it's time we bring it. And also because it's Human Rights Month now. So this play will form part of that human rights at the Forge in Bloemfontein.
And it's, as you say, it's a story that is no longer in our headlines, but how do we prevent it from happening again if we don't keep it in our collective conscious?
You know, the sad part of it is that it probably is still happening somewhere, but it's just that now it's not 144 people that are dying, which is why we're not hearing about it. My And I'm sure it happened even before Life Esidimeni, but we were not aware because it wasn't 144 people that died. So I'm only hoping that through the conversations that we're having about the Life Esidimeni incident, we might get some sort of change, some sort of justice. Because I mean, like, it's been over 5 years. It was only a headline in 2016. From 2017, we forgot about it, and we have had commissions, we have had... And when I sat down with the families and they would tell me what they went through and who they think should be held accountable, and till today, nothing has been done. So that, for me, is just a little bit distracting. So I just think, I am hoping that through these conversations, we can bring change.
I mean, it's an incredible work that you and the rest of your team put together. Given that this is a free production, you can go to the Forge from this Thursday, and you can watch that production free of charge. It's a lot of investment, not only in terms of your time and your... you know, the Forge itself and your various skills, but also, you know, you're doing it for free. Why for free?
I think also I would like to thank the team that I'm working with. I mean, I've got like an amazing team that has been with me since we started with the project. I mean, the director Ngumisa and Ernest Baleni, as well as the cast, Zanele Mtombeni and Tsegofatso Masikwame. They've been there with me to try and make the project. And I think for them as well, it has never been about benefiting from the project, but being the voice for the voiceless. We're making it free because we want everyone to have access to it. I think I would feel guilty if people were to pay for it.
It would feel strange.
And yet I'm saying my hope is to create the conversation and hopefully have this conversation going and probably bring change. We hope.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, let people come and enjoy it without paying any money, so they can just get involved in the conversation. Probably they will take it home. We don't know what happens outside the theater, so it might bring that change.
So in terms of where people can go, it's at the Forge in Braamfontein. It's from Thursday. Give us a sense of how long it will run for and the timings. So
we're running from Thursday until Saturday, so we only have like 4 shows. So we've got one on Thursday at 7, Friday at 7, and Saturday at 7. But also on Saturday, we've got one at 12 during the day, so that people can also, those who are not at work, can come through and see the show. And they'll just have to RSVP, because also we're living in a different time now with the COVID and all that, just to maintain the number.
So only 36? You said 36 people allowed?
Yeah, only 36 people allowed per show. And the last time I checked, it was already selling out. So I think people can go to the Forge website and RSVP there. All right, that is how they book? Yes, that's how they book. Yeah, yes, it's at theforge.co.za, www.attheforge.co.za. They'll get all the information there. So your message to, you know, you said that your hope is that it will bring about some sort of justice for the families of those 144 people. Yes. For government officials who may be watching this interview, who may indeed hear about the play itself, what is your message? I laugh when I think about that, because that's one inhuman thing that happened during Life Esidimeni. And to have people still living their lives like nothing happened. To have people living their lives like they never did anything wrong. I mean, like, we know there were names that were mentioned during the arbitration and all that. But we are those people now. Yeah. Enjoying their lives. But what about the families that were affected? Did we ever take a moment and think about them, what they are going through? I mean, it might have been easier to say we're going to pay you 1.2 million as a compensation. But is that enough money for a loss? Does it take away the pain? Does it bring happiness to the family? How much can you pay for a lost soul? I would like to think them that, how would they feel if it was their own families? Perhaps they would feel differently. It's great to have you in studio, even though we're talking about such an incredibly painful part of our democracy. Incredibly painful, incredibly shameful part of our democracy. Siyambonga Mdubeki, it's great to see you again. All the best with this weekend and with all of the future works that you have. Thank you so much. If you want to go and watch the play, it's on at the Forge this Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Only 4 shows. It's at 7 p.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and another show at 12 in the afternoon on Saturday. Head on over to the Forge website
and book your space. Only 36 spaces available. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.